in the Catholic Church and also in the Protestant Church. What does it do to a person when they come to realize that the so-called first man on the planet, who we've all been taught to call Adam, never historically existed? What does that do to a person? What does that do to you when you find out that the story of Adam and Eve is actually a copy? I told you the Bible is a collection of plagiarized copy stories. What does it do to you when you find out the story of Adam and Eve was taken from the ancient Sumerian story of Enki and Ninti? Okay, approximately 11,000 years BC. Yes, follow what I'm saying to you. Don't take my word for it. Write this down. E-N-K-I, Enki. And his wife's name was Ninti, N-I-N-T-I. Got me? The story, the ancient story that you were not taught about, is that Enki ate some plants or the forbidden fruit, right? And that made him terminally ill. And the gods sent a woman named Ninti, all right? And Ninti means woman of the rib. So you see where they copied this from, right? The gods sent Ninti, woman of the rib, to take away his sickness and heal him. Okay, what does it do to find out that the story of the making of man? All right, what does it do, man, when you find out? Okay, making sure I'm still here. Okay, what does it do when you find out that the story of the making of man comes from the Egyptian ancient Nile Valley god called Khnum, K-H-U-N-U-M. Don't take my word for it. Write it down. K-H-U-N-U-M. Google that, and you'll see that he's the ancient potter, okay, of the Nile Valley, who fashioned man from the clay of the earth. All right, that story was copied and put into the Bible. It says, and God made man from the dust of the ground and formed man from the dust of the ground. Come on, family, understand where our story was plagiarized, how they plagiarized our story. What does it do to a person when they find out that what they thought, as I said, was the unique, original, inspired, and infallible collection of so-called sacred writings is really a library of stolen, copied, plagiarized, fictionalized, and fabricated stories from much earlier accounts of other ancient cultural stories that predate their lives by thousands of years? The biblical story of Cain and Abel, copied from the Kemetic story of the two brothers of Asar and Set. Set, the jealous of his brother, kills Asar and scatters his body and claims the throne for his own. But he's later conquered by Heru, the virgin-born Christ, okay? And by the way, Set in ancient Egypt becomes Seten or Satan or Set again in the biblical text. But he's conquered by the virgin-born Christ known as Heru, the son of Asar, who restores order to the world and sets up and establishes his kingdom on earth with the pharaohs as the guardians of Ma'at. What does it do when you find out that the biblical text recorded in Genesis, the 11th chapter, where it says the people built a tower unto God, whose top would reach into heaven? What does it do when you find out that that tower is really the step pyramid of Zoser in the city of Saqqara? And even in your Bible, when it talks about in the 11th chapter, the people built a tower unto God. If you look that up in Strong's reference, it's Strong's reference number 04026. It's the Hebrew word migdal, M-I-G-D-A-L, which means a pyramid structure. Don't take my word for it. Do the homework for yourself and see it. What does it do when you find out that the story of Noah was copied from the ancient Sumerian story of Utnapishtim? I shared this with you a few weeks ago. Utnapishtim is the wise king who, along with his wife, survived a great flood sent by Enlil. I'm sorry, I think it's pronounced Enlil, E-N-L-I-L, to drown every living thing on earth. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Utnapishtim is spelled again U-T-N-A-P-I-S-H-T-I-M. Look it up. Who is secretly warned by the water god Ea of Enlil's plan and constructed a boat or ark to save himself and his family and representatives of each species of animal. This is Utnapishtim, not Noah. That's where the story came from. And when the flood water subsided, he released a dove, found no resting place, he returned. Then he released a swallow, found no place in return. Then he released a raven. And when the raven never came back, the same story. But they put it in the Bible and said the man's name was Noah. Utnapishtim then made a sacrifice and poured out a libation to Ea on top of Mount Nasir, which is Iraq today. See what I'm saying, family? This whole program you've been taught is lies and plagiarizations. Okay? Then we have this dude named Moses, which never existed, but they copied the name of Thutmoses. His Kemetic name was Menkeperah Hudi Mays. Okay? Thutmoses, Thutmosis, Thutmoses III. That's the only Moses that ever existed. Understand how this goes, brothers and sisters. The virgin mother and child, you were lied to. They put a story in the Bible in Isaiah 7:14 telling you, therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. A virgin shall conceive and bear a son and shall call his name Emmanuel. And you think that's Mary and Jesus. Doggone it. That whole story of the virgin mother and child is taken from Aset and Heru, the virgin-born Christ child of ancient Egypt. And understand Isaiah 7:14 is not a prophecy about the virgin birth of Jesus. It's a prophecy about the birth of Isaiah's son. And if you read the next chapter, the 8th chapter of Isaiah, you'll see where it says, and the prophet went in unto the virgin, and she conceived and bare a son, and called his name, one of these long, crazy words to pronounce. But don't take my word, check it out, see it for yourself. That virgin child that was prophesied. And by the way, the word virgin there comes from the word, there are two words, virgin. Okay? The word Bethula and the word Alma. The word Alma is the word in that verse, not Bethula. Alma means a young maiden. Bethula means a woman who's never been touched by a man. That's why you have to skip people. Oh God, that's why you have to learn. Some of y'all are so busy being ignorant and moving in ignorance, you think you're making progress. See, in order for those who have been misled to begin to see correctly, you must have a clear analytical understanding of the origin and strategies and mechanics and purpose and methods of the device that has blinded you in the first place. That's my job. That's why I'm here, to help you see correctly, to free your African mind. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So, brothers and sisters, as we navigate through this season of lies, free your African mind. Stop buying into the lie. Stop buying into the program. And for God's sake, and for the sake of our future generations, man, stop teaching these lies to our children. Please, I beg you, stop programming our children with these lies that you grew up with. Okay, I got to end. Okay, as I end, I extend the invitation to you to log on and listen to Black Liberation.